What we're looking at here is a home that is actually sitting lower than the surrounding property. And if you can see right here, we have a street, and you would actually drive down into the driveway. And you could imagine if there was any water, maybe a heavy downpour, you would also experience water draining into these areas. And you can look here, you can see the water that would drain into this area. There's a good chance it would drain off into this area here, but think about it. This isn't a wide area, and where does it drain to? Now you could be under the impression that it drains to the back of the property, and of course it would leave the property, but that's not the case. Here's the back of the property, and you can see it's even raised up here. And you're probably still thinking, hey, wait a minute, it's lower over here. Well, it isn't. This whole property goes around this area, and it's actually sitting down in the area um, where if there was a lot of water, or should I say enough water, then there could be a problem with the home actually flooding. Now let me show you what I'm talking about here. If you have a house that's sitting on a level area, then the water could actually just sit here. The water needs to drain away. It needs the area or the soil around the property actually needs to slope and drain away, so any water that comes off of your roof or in the surrounding area surrounding your home needs to drain safely away from the building. And that's not the case all the time, and that's actually why I'm making the videos, to point this out. It's something you need to familiarize yourself with. Even if your property that you have, let's say you're on an acre of land and all of the surrounding soil slopes away from your property, but your neighbor's property surrounding your acre of land, is raised above your property. With this in mind, it isn't difficult to figure out that even though the soil might be sloping away from your property, is the area around your property going to create a problem for your home? If this is the case, what I just described, it would be a problem, because if there was enough water, and the water is going to be draining away from your neighbor's property onto your property, then you could end up with a flooded house or some type of a situation. So it's just something you're going to need to look for while you're looking at homes. Now here's a home that would be perfect as long as the surrounding properties aren't higher. You know, if you're sitting on the top of a hill, great. You're not going to have to worry about this. But you need to know, you need to understand, if you're on top of a hill, great, this won't be an issue. If you're in a valley, this could be a problem. And there are flood zones you will need to look into. There are areas that when you buy your home, you might find some of the paperwork during the transaction. You might find some of it that will state what kind of a zone your property is in. And if it's in a flood zone, you might not want to purchase the home if this is a concern of yours. Now here's an example of what I'm talking about. The area around your property is above the level that your home was built on. Think about it. If any water was to come in here, it's going to fill up the area surrounding your property. Now this is a small picture, but just imagine if from here to here is a quarter of a mile. This is something that would be, maybe there's 15 homes in this area here. It's a quarter of a mile wide, and all of the water from the surrounding area is going to drain into this quarter of a mile. And it doesn't have an area to drain safely away. Well, then you're going to have a problem with water, and you could be in a flood zone. And again, that's why I made the video. Sometimes I get a little long-winded here, and I don't make my point as clear as I would like to. But I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, if you don't, feel free to leave some comments or if you have any questions, and I will try to answer them as soon as possible. But let's not forget that this area here doesn't just need to apply to your property. If, for example, you have 3 houses in a situation like this, then all 3 of these homes are going to, or should I say, could be in trouble if there was ever more water around the surrounding area than could absorb into the ground fast enough. Then of course the water's going to head into the lower areas, and if your home is located along with other homes in this area, then you could end up with some serious flooding issues. So again, you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them, and I will answer them as soon as possible. If I know the answers, hey, what can I say?